She may seem like she's got it all together, unshaken, composed, and emotionally detached, but deep down, there's one force capable of shattering her sense of control and leaving her vulnerable. It's not the typical games or the obvious attempts to make her jealous that truly affect her. What really rattles her is something far more profound, something that chips away at her self-assurance in ways most don't realize. She'll never openly admit it, never let you see it, but when it happens, her inner foundation starts to tremble. Stick with me till the end, because once you discover this hidden truth, you'll hold the power to navigate any situation with unwavering calm. 1. Why women's confidence can be more fragile than you think. Women often present themselves as emotionally strong, independent and unshakable, but the truth is, their confidence can be far more fragile than most men realize. Society leads us to believe that men struggle more with rejection and that women are immune to the loss of attention from a man. But that's a major misconception. In reality, women's confidence is deeply tied to control. The moment they feel that control slipping away, their sense of security falters. Many men don't understand that women derive their self-worth from a few key factors: how much attention they receive from others, how much influence they have over the emotions of those around them, and how desired they feel compared to other women. These elements are what boost their confidence and shape their self-perception. However, this confidence is external. It relies heavily on how others treat them. When you stop feeding into this, she begins to question everything. She'll compare herself more often, wonder if she's as captivating as she once believed. And when that self-assurance begins to waver, that's when the first cracks appear in her ego. For the first time, she feels powerless, and that's when her confidence truly begins to unravel. 2. The one thing that destroys her confidence. Completely, most men assume that rejecting a woman or hurting her feelings is what breaks her. But the truth is, rejection alone doesn't have the power to shatter her confidence. What truly shakes a woman's sense of security is when she realizes that she no longer has any control over you. When she pulls away and you don't react emotionally, when she ignores you and you stay composed, when she loses interest and you don't chase after her, her ego starts to crumble. Every time a man shows emotional reaction, whether it's frustration, hurt, or trying to win her back, her confidence remains intact. Even if she rejects you, she still feels powerful, knowing she can affect your emotions. But when you remain unfazed, when she sees that you're no longer invested, that's when her sense of control begins to slip. Suddenly, she starts questioning herself. Why doesn't he care? Why isn't he chasing me like all the other guys did? That single thought hits harder than any rejection could, because it's not about her losing your attention. It's about realizing that she no longer holds the power to control your emotions. That's the moment her ego starts to crack wide open. 3. How women handle ego destruction and why she'll deny it. When a woman realizes she no longer has control over you, she will never openly admit that it bothers her. Instead, she'll act like she doesn't care, but deep down, it eats at her. Women typically respond to ego destruction in 3 distinct ways. 1. She seeks validation. Elsewhere, in an attempt to rebuild her confidence, she may instinctively look for attention from other sources. You might notice her posting more selfies, changing her look, or engaging in behaviors designed to draw the gaze of others. While this may offer a brief boost, it's not the same as having your attention. Deep down, she's still wondering why you don't care anymore. 2. She will test you. Her first reaction might be to test the waters, trying to regain the power she once had. She could reach out after weeks of silence or comment on your social media posts to see if you'll react. She might try to bring up old inside jokes or act as if nothing has changed. If you respond emotionally, even for a moment, her ego feels temporarily healed. But if you stay calm, detached, and unaffected, it only deepens her insecurity. This leaves her questioning herself even more. 3. The final stage. As her confidence continues to crumble, she'll start doubting her own desirability. Thoughts like, maybe I'm not as attractive as I thought, or why doesn't he want me back, begin to haunt her. She'll never admit that she feels vulnerable, but deep inside, her self-assurance begins to shatter. She might appear unaffected on the outside, but beneath that cool exterior, her ego is unraveling, whether she wants to acknowledge it or not. 4. The biggest mistake men make. When men realize they have control, many make the critical error of rubbing it in. They may try to prove that she's affected, that she's hurt, or that she's losing her grip. They act arrogantly or post things designed to make her jealous, thinking it will give them the upper hand. But here's the truth. The moment you do this, you lose control. By trying to provoke a reaction, you're showing that you still care. A man who is truly unaffected doesn't need to prove anything. If you want to dismantle her ego completely, the key is to remain utterly unbothered. Don't seek revenge, don't try to make a point, and especially don't chase after her. Keep living your life confidently, focusing on your own goals and growth. The most powerful message you can send is showing her that she no longer matters to you. The more she realizes that she can't influence your emotions, the more her ego will begin to shatter. At first she'll brush it off, telling herself that you're just like every other guy and that you'll come back eventually. "Oh, he's just playing games, he'll be back," she might think. After all, women are used to men reacting under pressure. They expect you to chase after them when they pull away. But when that doesn't happen, when you remain silent, calm, and completely unaffected, that's when her internal panic sets in. Initially, it's subtle. She might check your social media, wondering if you've moved on. She could ask mutual friends about you, trying to get a hint of your feelings. But then, the real questions start creeping in. Why isn't he chasing me? Why doesn't he care? Did I actually lose him? That's when she realizes, deep down, that you're not coming back. Her ego takes its first serious blow because for the first time she has lost the power she thought she had over you. And that's when her confidence starts to unravel. 5. When she tries to regain control, the games she will play. At this stage, her ego refuses to let things be. She can't accept that you've moved on, so she resorts to the only tactic she has left. She tries to bait you into giving her back the control she's lost. This often comes in a few predictable forms. The casual check-in. She'll send you a seemingly innocent text disguised as a friendly random message. "Hey, hope you're doing well. I saw something that reminded me of you. How have you been?" On the surface, it may look harmless, but don't be fooled. This isn't just a friendly check-in. She's testing you. She's trying to see if you'll respond emotionally or eagerly. If you do, even slightly, her ego gets a quick boost, and she feels like she's regained some control. But if you remain calm, indifferent, and unaffected, her doubts deepen. She starts questioning herself all over again. The social media trap. Next, she'll step up her game online. Suddenly, her feed is filled with carefully curated photos, selfies, nights out, spontaneous vacations, anything that screams, "I'm fine without you." She might even post cryptic feel-good quotes about moving on or embracing her worth, all while pretending to be happier than ever. She's hoping it'll trigger jealousy or make you feel left out, emotionally drawing you back into her orbit. If you react or show any sign of jealousy, she wins. But if you keep living your life as if she no longer exists, the facade crumbles, and she loses the game. Escalation, the move-on act. If the subtle hints don't work, she might escalate further. She'll get closer to other men, not because she's interested, but because she wants you to notice. She'll make sure you see her with someone else, posting pictures with another guy, often with a vague caption that suggests she's moved on. This is her way of getting you to question whether she still cares, hoping you'll feel jealousy creeping in. The more she works to make you feel left out or jealous, the more obvious it becomes that she's not truly over you. If you don't react, if you don't show a hint of jealousy or curiosity, it's a blow to her ego that she can't ignore. Here's the truth. If she had truly moved on, she wouldn't need to prove it to you. The more effort she puts into making you jealous, the more clear it becomes that you're still on her mind, and every time you don't react, her ego suffers another painful blow. 7. Why women fear losing power over you, the ego's greatest weakness. A woman's greatest fear isn't rejection or even the end of a relationship. It's losing the power she once held over a man. Why? Because her ego is often built not on her true self, but on how men respond to her. When she can make you chase after her, she feels validated. When she can spark jealousy, she feels desired. When she can get you emotionally tangled, she feels in control. But when she loses that power, it forces her to confront a harsh truth. She wasn't as powerful as she thought. Nothing shatters a woman's ego faster than realizing a man has completely detached from her influence. At first, she might act like it doesn't faze her, but internally she's consumed with self-doubt. Was I not enough? Did he never really care? Has he found someone better? Those questions gnaw at her, eating away at her self-esteem more than any rejection ever could. It's not just about losing you, it's about the loss of control, the recognition that her power over your emotions was all an illusion. That realization is more devastating than anything she's willing to admit. 8. When she finally cracks, the emotional breakdown phase. Eventually, the facade of fake confidence, fake happiness, and fake indifference becomes too much to maintain. The cracks start to show, and this is when she finally breaks. She begins replaying old memories with you in her mind, those late-night conversations, the moments that made her feel special. She wonders, did I make a mistake? And starts to feel the heavy weight of what she's lost. This is when the emotional turmoil really kicks in. At this point, she may reach out more directly, trying to rekindle something, maybe suggesting a catch-up, bringing up old inside jokes, or acting like she just now realizes what she lost. But here's the catch. What she's really doing is not seeking love, but trying to mend her shattered ego. If you fall for it, if you respond with emotion, or open yourself back up to her, she regains the control she lost. But if you remain calm, detached, and unaffected, her ego is dealt a final blow. The emotional breakdown becomes undeniable. She's forced to face the painful reality that her power over you is completely gone, and in that moment, her confidence is no more. 9. The key to keeping your power. Why most men fail at this stage. Most men don't make it this far. Somewhere along the way they fall into her trap. They convince themselves, she finally sees my value. She must really miss me. Maybe we can work things out. But here's the cold truth. She doesn't miss you. She misses the power she once held over you. She craves the validation, the attention, the control. It's not about you. It's about the influence she's lost. If you go back now, you hand her back the control she lost. But if you maintain emotional distance and continue living your life confidently, she will be forced to confront the reality of the situation. Her ego will crumble, and she will realize that her power over you is gone for good. The final stage. When she regrets everything. At this point, her sense of power is shattered and her self-image is in pieces. Without control over you, she begins to feel true regret. She may try to apologize subtly, hoping you'll let her back in. She might act like she's changed, use emotions to pull at your heartstrings, or try to manipulate you into feeling sorry for her. But by now, you've seen through the game. You understand her motives clearly. Once you truly detach and remain unaffected, she can't repair the damage to her ego. She'll always know that she lost the one thing she thought she could control, you. The truth sinks in. The power she once held is gone, and that realization becomes more painful than any rejection could ever be. 11. The unspoken power shift. Why she can't stand being left behind. There's an invisible power dynamic between men and women, one that women are acutely aware of, even if men don't always notice it. Most women are accustomed to being the ones who leave first. They are used to having the final word, the last say, and the upper hand. Why? Because society has conditioned them to believe they always have more options, that no matter what, there will always be another man ready to step in and take your place. This belief is why women tend to initiate breakups more often than men. They feel confident pulling away because they assume they'll be missed and chased. In their minds, they can always come back and everything will fall back into place. But when the roles are reversed, when a woman realizes she's the one being left behind, when she understands she's been replaced and is no longer a priority, everything changes. Her sense of power is completely shattered. Suddenly she finds herself in uncharted territory. The idea that a man could actually move on without her, that he has the strength to walk away and never look back, is a reality she can't process. That loss of control hits her like a ton of bricks. She questions her own value. The attention, validation, and emotional power she once wielded over you are gone, and with that, her sense of self-worth begins to unravel. This is why she will deny it until the very end. Admitting that a man she thought she had control over actually had the courage to walk away is a truth her ego simply cannot handle. No matter how much she pretends she doesn't care, deep down, she's struggling with the crushing realization that she lost her influence over you forever. That's a truth her ego may never be able to fully accept. 12. The silent revenge that hurts her the most. When a man feels betrayed or hurt, it's natural to want revenge, to prove a point, to show her what she lost. But here's the cold truth. The loudest revenge is no revenge at all. Nothing devastates her ego faster than watching you move on without even trying to prove anything. Most men make two major mistakes when they feel rejected. They either beg or chase. They send long emotional texts, hoping for a response. They stalk her social media, waiting for a sign that she's thinking of them. They post pictures of their new life, trying to make her jealous, faking happiness in an attempt to get her to regret leaving. But all of this feeds her ego. She feels powerful knowing that despite everything, you're still emotionally attached. She knows she can still trigger you, and that gives her a false sense of control. But this strategy always backfires. The moment she sees you trying to get her back, she knows you still care. She sees your vulnerability, and her ego remains intact. The true way to destroy her ego is through silence, indifference, and your own growth. Stop checking her stories. Stop trying to reach out. Let her feel your absence completely. Focus on yourself. No drama, no games. When she realizes you've evolved into a better version of yourself, with or without her, it will haunt her. The most painful thing she'll ever face is the realization that she was never as important to you as she thought, and that, more than anything, will shatter her ego. 13. The final lesson. What happens when you truly move on? In the end, the greatest victory is not getting her back, It's getting to a point where you don't even care if she does. By that stage, you've already won. She'll spend months, maybe years, trying to figure out why you were the one guy she couldn't break. She'll compare every man she meets to you, asking herself, why don't I feel the same attraction? Why is no one else like him? Why can't I get over him? That's when the truth hits her. She lost the best thing she ever had, but by then, it won't matter to you anymore. You'll be too focused on your own growth, your purpose, and your future. She'll just be a forgotten chapter in your story, and that realization will eat at her like nothing else. And that, more than anything, is what will truly destroy her ego.